Hello everyone, and welcome to the first battle report summary. I'm Zach from Average Joe Warhammer. This has been promised to you guys and everybody that subscribes and follows on Instagram and Reddit. I have just played 2 back-to-back games with the all Kroot army. The first being against the brand new Orcs, and the second against the Ultramarines. Now, I promised everyone, and we can just chalk this up as the #1 YouTuber controversy of the year, a proper, somewhat proper battle report where I would just kind of do a summary of each turn as it went during the game. So, for reasons I will discuss in a moment, that is not what we're doing today anymore. Instead, it's going to be a little bit different. So, before I get into that, let's roll my super fancy, super highly paid YouTuber intro. And that's about fucking all it is right there, boys. I don't have one because I'm a brand new YouTuber and I don't know anything. So, to get into why this report is the way it's going to be, both of my friends that I played against tonight, they both unfortunately had really bad games against the Kroot army. I gotta be honest, the Kroot spanked them. They spanked them real hard. They were both tabled. I think one was tabled turn 3 and one was tabled turn 4. And I'll get into why that is in a minute. It's not helped by the fact that they had both just worked 12.5-hour shifts while I am currently on vacation. So they were probably a little worn out and maybe not thinking that clearly, but I've got the army laid out here. I'm going to go over the army list for everybody because I've had just endless questions on Instagram about what each unit is, what they actually are. And what I've kind of drawn up here on the whiteboard is just very roughly what the terrain situation was like. This is my children's whiteboard. We're real high tech here, real fancy shit. I got all the good graphics and everything. And I'm just going to kind of roughly show you what happened during the games, what mistakes might have been made, what things could have maybe been done different, but also, what I did right. I'm not going to lie, I tend to win most of my games that I play. I blame it on a highly competitive board game environment growing up. So, I guess I will do the army list first, and I'm just going to kind of slowly pan around, and I'll try to get each unit as best I can. This is just filmed on my phone. It's in the middle of the night. It's like 2 a.m. right now. My family's sleeping. I just got home from that second game. So, starting off with our HQs, we have... Oh, this isn't even a real HQ. Look at me cheating already. So this is my Kroot Shaper. I'm going to count him as an HQ because he's just awesome, and he's probably one of my favorite Kroot models. This is a fully kit bashed Kroot Shaper, and I actually already have his own video for him up on the channel if you'd like to know exactly how he was made, how he is holding that Tau head that he is. Sorry, the camera's not focusing very well. The lighting's not very good in here because I live in a little apartment without amazing lights. Moving on, we have our Ethereal. Here he is with his Honor Blade. Maybe this will do. Maybe I'll pick up some models that might seem to focus them a little better. This is my Ethereal, big Honor Blade. He's made of a unique Tzeentch demon of some sort of Zangor. I don't really know what they're all called for the demons, but so that is my Ethereal Shaper. And then we've got this guy here, and he can just pop right off of his little flying stand. I just have that attached with a little bit of sticky tack in his bum. Seems to do the trick alright. He didn't fall over once while we were playing tonight. So this was my Warlord. This is my Cold Star Commander. Cold Stars, as you know, they move super fast. They're like the jet Tau suits. So he's on a flying Kroot pterodactyl monster. I had the green stuff, that face. Quite a bit of that is sculpted by me. And he's obviously got missile pods. And he's got a little knife thing. As you know, Tau commanders can fight like just the tiniest bit, but they can fight a little bit. And so as far as relics and warlord traits, the relics and warlord traits for Tau are terrible. They're all terrible. They basically aren't important. Everybody takes the one that gives on a 5-up you can get an extra CP, and that one that nobody ever remembers at all, where on 6s to wound you get an extra AP and an aura or something. So they're basically, they're nothing too special. I did give him the one-shot Tau Power Fist weapon. It's like a strength 10 d6 damage Power Fist. It's one attack, guys. One attack of, I think a commander has 4. It does hit on a 3, and it's strength 10, but it's one attack. Like, come on, GW. Why can they not just do all their attacks with the Power Fist? Like, they just do one, and then they just forget how to punch after that. But anyways, I'm not going to be on a rant about why Kroot should be better, because apparently we can just table Ultramarines and the brand new Orcs left and right. So he had that. I don't even remember what the other two had. I did give my Shaper the Pack Alpha upgrade. It lets you do an extra d6 on your charge with Kroot units, and that did come in handy at least once in the game. So sorry, this is going to be a long ass video if I keep going at this rate, but you know, I had a lot of fun and I like to talk, so if you guys are here listening this long, you're probably going to just keep listening. So I had 2 units of 10 Kroot carnivores. You can see a couple of them here have been customized. I tried my best to make all my Kroot look unique. I think even just the base models you can do a lot with to make them unique and cool looking. Like this guy here, he's got a different knife. That's actually a Tyrannid claw of some sort that I used as the blade, and I made his little Kroot rifle into a pistol. The Kroot guns are terrible. You're never going to kill anything with them. You're never going to do much damage with them, so feel free to just give them whatever you want. Give them no guns, give them 3 guns, doesn't really matter, just as long as they have something. But they, honestly, I really like these models. I think they've aged well. I think for the most part, oh, I'm knocking shit down already. I think they've aged well. I think they look cool. I had a lot of people also asking where I get my basing stuff from. It's mostly from Wish, guys. Wish.com, that super cheap, scammy website. I say scammy. It's not scammy. It's just cheap. And but when you just need cheap fake plants, you can get them for a whole huge pack for like $1. So I just got a bunch from that, and then I also other countries have different things, but here they're dollar stores. They're just like the bargain store, and they just have some cheap craft stuff there, including fake plants for whatever reason. And you just buy a big like bushel of it, almost like a flower arrangement or whatever, and just clip off whatever little bits you want. But I can't stress this enough. I'm going to do a basing video at some point and go over this. Go out in the woods, get outside. I know it's hard for some wargamers to do that, but you get your ass outside, go out in the woods, frolic like a goddamn animal, and find yourself some roots, some real plant roots. You can find some trees that have been knocked over. Pull shit out of your garden, your neighbor's garden. I don't really care. Just kidding. I don't condone, old ladies' garden vandalism. But find yourself some roots. Let them dry for a couple days. You can do it. There is ways you can like bake it in the oven, make it go faster. I don't do that. I just let it dry in my garage. And you will have the best sticks, fallen logs, dead trees. I have them on lots of my models. I'm just going to grab one of these guys real quick to show you. Like that big cool dead tree is in fact a root from something. You can see I've even done it like the carnivores. I tried to do their bases fairly quickly. I don't put a ton of time on them, but like the cool little, that's not focusing very well. That's only marginally better. I get better light here. Wow, that just does not want. There you go. The little like stringy things on his feet, they really, or near his feet, they really add a lot to the model. I guess if I go down like this, you can probably see some of it better. Any of the little sticks and stuff you see down there, those are all roots. Just rip them with your hands, clip them up, whatever. They make it look a lot more convincing than the fake stuff. And I think a good mix of them is going to serve you the best. So anyways, I got totally off topic talking about bases. I love bases. A good base, cherry on top of a model. Makes it much better. 2 units of 10 carnivores. Like I said, they're just there to sit on points. They move super fast, and that's all you need. I have 1 unit of Kroot Fire Warriors. I hate these models. I hate them so much. I put so little effort into them. They're like the worst kit bash in the whole army. They're just Fire Warrior arms stuck on Kroot bodies. I think one of them I bothered to sculpt a little bit of a green stuff cloak. And I think it's that guy. It's not focusing. Oh my god. Oh, my phone is so bad. Turn up the brightness a little bit, that might help something. Anyways, yeah, again, just like the bare minimum troops, just cheap, sit on a point. 9th edition is all about just sitting on points and trading, and your troops, at least as Kroot, you're not going to kill anything. They're just there, just take the bare minimum, sit on points. What is really helpful for the sitting on points, so go to the next unit, is Kroot Hounds. I can't believe these don't show up actually in like competitive lists, because a unit of 4 like this, that's, you know, it's still 4 bodies, it still takes 4 shots to kill them at the minimum. It's 24 points. They're 6 points a model, and they're super fast. They move 12 inches. They're really tiny. They're really hard to like find. You can hide them super good. And yeah, they're just super fast, little cheap bodies. 24 points. You don't care if they die. They're not going to kill anything. They're actually, funny enough, they're better at fighting than the Kroot carnivores, because they actually have a little bit of AP on their bites, and they got 2 bites each, I believe. Same thing, they're never going to kill anything, but just as a cheap little unit to just throw up on a point, they're amazing. And I would always take 1, and usually I would take more than 1, even like, you know, 2 of 5. When you start going higher than 5, then you run into the blast issue, and then they already are going to die to nothing, but then they die even more to nothing. So I'd say, you know, 2 of 4, 2 of 5, 1 of 4, 1 of 5, something like that. Every list, super awesome. Moving on from them, I guess, so we just did troops and HQs, so I guess then it would be elites. So I already talked about the Shaper, which is technically an elite. I have my 3 Krootox riders. Big quotes around that, because these ain't your grandma's Krootox riders, alright? These are, I'll do a video on how these are made, but basically these are my highly kit bashed Krootox riders. I call them Mountain Kroot or Goliath Kroot. They are big, they're mean, they've got harpoon launching guns. This guy's got a bloody club and a dead Tau on his base, because Viva la Revolution. And the other 2 have big punchy fists, and they're very spooky and very mean. And these guys are great, actually. I genuinely like the Krootox. I genuinely think they're not bad units at all. So this is something I'll touch on now, because I'm going to get into a couple other units that are like this. So when if you're going to play Kroot as Tau, or even if you are just a Tau player looking to add some Kroot, the Krootox riders, and then the Forge World Kroot units, the Great Narloks and the Narlok Cav, I genuinely wish GW could just bring those out of Legends, because they are exactly what you need in the Tau army, in my opinion, to be good. The Tau army shooting is great. It's actually very good. You can give them good buffs. You can reroll hits and wounds for a lot of things if you have to. You just need roadblock units. You just need little things to just hold the enemy back just long enough for your guns to kill everything, and maybe like polish off the odd model in melee. These guys, perfect for that. They're shooting, it's not bad at all. It, you know, a squad of 3 of them easily is going to kill 2 or 3 Marines in shooting. And then if you actually charge these guys into melee, you can pop the Rampaging Beast stratagem for 1 CP. Suddenly they're 4 attacks each, hitting on 3s, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. Like, you know, on average that's going to kill like 4 or 5 Marines. And you could even almost wipe a small squad with that, if not finish one off that's already been shot. And that did come up in the game. It was actually only 2 of them. So, you know, they're a solid little unit, and I'm thinking I might end up getting more. I just have these 3. I might end up getting another 6, because I really was impressed with them today. So, moving on from them, this is the first of the out-of-print Forge World units. I brought 4 Narlok riders. These are the Cavalry Narlok. You can take them in pretty big units. You can take them in up to, it's up to 6 or 9. It might even be 9, but I think it's 6. I took 4, so excuse me, sorry. So you're avoiding blast because you've got obviously less than 6. And they are, again, they serve basically the same role as the Kroots. They are fairly fast, 4 wounds each. They're reasonably durable. They're not amazing. They've only got 4 up saves, but I mean, still, it's 4 up saves, it's 4 wounds, toughness 4. Like, somebody can't just, sniff at these with 5 bolters. Like, they're gonna actually have to put something into them to remove them. That's 16 wounds right there. Like, that's a fair amount of wounds, and they actually fight quite well. On the charge, anyway, they get an extra attack and an extra strength. And like these guys, again, same as the Kroots, like they've got a chance at wiping a small Marine squad or doing some good damage to something else. The bite attacks on the cavalry are 2 damage, and then the guys on top on the charge would each get 2 at strength 5, so it's not terrible. They've got rifles for a little bit of shooting. So again, they're a great roadblock unit. They're just enough wounds, they're just durable enough to hold back the enemy long enough for your big guns to do their work. So moving on from there, the next Forge World unit, we have one Great Narlock. And this is just such an awesome, cool model. I'm just so sad that my freaking phone camera is betraying me here. But it's an awesome, awesome model. This actually was entirely painted on streams on my Instagram. You can go back and watch it if you'd like. The quality is equally terrible there. Don't expect shit from me, alright? You'll get some good pictures every once in a while, and that's it. You get nothing else. But again, he's just the same as the Narlock Cav and these guys. He's fairly decent in combat. AP 4, flat 3 damage attacks, and he's got 4 of them. So, if he gets into Marines, he's going to kill a couple Marines, maybe even Gravis armor, he could kill 2 or 3 of them, and he did. His weapon options are pretty decent. All the choices on him are free. He's another Forge World Legends model, so he's not getting any support, so I don't think they really care too much. Believe it or not, this guy has 9 wounds. He's 9 wounds, and he's only 65 points. And I just told you his melee, but he also on a 4-up does D3 mortal wounds to something that he charged into. So half the time you're going to get some mortal wounds on that. It's just a free smite. And then he also can have a twin Kroot gun, which is rapid fire 2, strength 7, -1, D3 shots. So again, like this guy alone, by himself, he's 65 points, could easily, between shooting, mortal wounds, and melee, kill a squad of 5 Marines. If he killed 5 Marines, even if he killed like 4 Marines, he's made those 65 points back, and he's just another roadblock unit. God forbid I had 3 of them. I do have 3 of them. I only brought 1. It's just tough enough. It's just annoying enough. It's just enough wounds, just enough melee to keep the enemy honest while your guns just ruin them. And so, speaking of guns, we'll get to the first gun unit in my Kroot army. God damn it. I should get 40 lashes for that. Down with the Tau, up with the Kroot. Anyways, the Kroot broadsides. Honestly, not my favorite models. Not because they're not super cool, but just because they're monopose. I just can't stand monopose. I want everything to look different, and that is actually why I only have 2 of them. I'm going to kit bash my own railgun ones. These guys are 3D prints. That's why there's just the one pose. You could mirror it, and maybe with a lot of green stuff work, you could close their mouth or something. But anyways, enough about the models. These are my 2 Kroot broadside models. Obviously, they have all the missiles, and I took them with 4 drones. I know those are not the proper shield drones. Those are like Shadow Sun drones and Pathfinder drones, but I just think these ones look cooler, and those are just the ones I brought. So they had 4 shield drones with them. Or I think with points, maybe it was like 3 shield drones and 1 marker drone. Didn't matter. 2 missile broadsides with the correct buffs can honestly kill almost anything in the game. That is going to be, they are going to be your target every turn if you have the CP and you can afford it, for the reroll all wounds strat, which I cannot remember the strats off the top of my head. Actually, you know what? I have the strats right here. I can look it up. Never mind all that crashing. It wasn't anything important, I swear. Command and control node. God, and you know, for the amount of games I win, I just shouldn't. I don't even know the names of the best stratagems. Command and control node. Your commander cannot shoot, but the battle shoot within rerolls all wounds. So I mean, so these guys have 16 missiles each, hitting on 4s. But then so you pop your Monka or Kauyon, whichever one it is, the rerolls all hits. You can really tell I'm a pro player here. And then you reroll all wounds on top. Like you can reliably kill anything in the game, and you can in fact probably kill 2 things because you're going to give them AP, advanced targeting systems as well. And yeah, so that's they are very, very good for that. And last but not least, this is what everybody's here for. It is the Kroot Taunar. Now, obviously, this is just a friendly, fun game. Everybody just calm the hell down. You are not going to see me rocking this at an official GW tournament. Although I probably would try. I would definitely try, but I would be just so scared that when they threw me out the door, he would get broken, and I would cry. I might kill them with it. You know, he's so heavy, I could probably beat a man to death with it. Anyways, what does the Taunar do? What the heck is even a Taunar Supremacy armor? You know, most people have never even seen it. A lot of people don't even know it exists. It is a 1,000 point Tau Titan battlesuit armor model from Forge World. So if you're playing a 2,000 point game like I was tonight, he is a full 50% of your army. Now, what do you get for 50% of your army? You get no less than 3 big guns on the back that have 2 different profiles. You get 4 smart missile systems on my model, represented by these 3D printed Storm Surge missiles. You get 4 burst cannons. Everybody knows and loves burst cannons. Mine just has 1 as a turret here, but we're just going to say they are 4 times as good with it because they're Kroot, not Tau. And then you get 2 big ass ion gun things down here, and this is a secret. You know, don't tell the Tau forums. Don't tell Daddy GW. He's actually pretty good at melee. Now, and no, just everybody, just calm down. Okay, it's not anything crazy. Even though mine looks like he does not have bite attacks. What he does have is he has pretty decent Imperial Knight level stompy stomps. He does the pitter patter of death. He actually is weapon skill 4 with 12 attacks, strength 8, minus 2, damage 2, I believe. I believe he has damage 2 instead of the D3. But yeah, and so like, I'm not going to go into his exact stats. You can look them up yourself. They're on Battlescribe. But basically, between the 8 small guns, you can kill, you know, a medium-sized infantry unit just with that. You could choose to fire the blast profile of either of these. They are 2 separate guns. You could fire them independently, and you could easily kill 1, if not 2, other large-ish infantry units, like say a unit of boys or something. Or you could choose to target a vehicle, at which point you will kill that vehicle. Like, there is no vehicle I've ever shot with this thing, including Fellblades, Repulsor Executioners, Leviathan Dreadnoughts. Nothing in the game can survive both of these guns shooting at them, especially if you're giving it buffs. It is ridiculous the amount of shots you would have to roll ungodly bad, or he'd be like crippled for it not to die. Back guns can either be super anti-tank, they're like flat 5 damage, 2 shots each, so 6 shots total, or you can take the blast profile and they can probably kill another infantry unit in total. And then on top of all of that, he could go over and do the pitter patter tap dance of death and kill another small infantry unit by himself. So in total, this, like, my friends just lose their shit. They absolutely love the model, but they cry when it plays, because they, up until tonight, and I'll get to this later, they have never been able to kill this thing. And if each turn, from what I've just said, this thing could potentially kill like 5 units by itself, well, they're not going to have much of an army left. He could be killing 2 vehicles and 2 infantry units every turn by himself. And obviously I'm going to target the things that could kill him back. So he is ridiculous if he cannot be stopped. He can be stopped. It's entirely possible to be stopped. He did get stopped tonight. It wasn't enough, but he did. So yeah, if you are ever across from a real Taunar Supremacy armor, do not let it shoot your whole army every turn, like some friends of mine sometimes have done, because you're not gonna have much of an army left after that. So, anyways, so getting into we're gonna do the orc game first. I'm just gonna talk about it really briefly, and I will use my whiteboard here to illustrate some points. This is gonna be an ungodly long video, but I don't care. It's more for me to look back on. If anybody wants to, I know people can timestamp shit. They want to timestamp this to just to tell people like where to go to get away from me talking or get away from me talking about certain things. I'd appreciate that because I don't even know how to do any of that. But all right, anyways, so the orc game. So what my friend brought as a list was something in the neighborhood of 70 to 80 orc boys, 20 of the new Beastnaga boys, and the rest were all normal Choppa boys. He brought Gazgul with him, brought a Pain boy, he brought a mech with the custom force field, he brought a mech with the Super Shock Attack Gun. He brought one battle wagon, and it was the Red Rolla one. And he brought 3 mech guns. Oh, and sorry, in the Red Rolla was 6 Meganobs. So this is, you're going to fully understand here why we're not even going to talk about this game very much. So, right off the bat, let's say this is our terrain. Let's say the Orcs are O. They're up there. Kroot down here. Okay? So, start of the game, we have a third friend. God forbid I have more than one friend. And it's at his house that we were playing. He set up all the terrain ahead of time. These two were big, huge, solid walls. And these were all really cool. His mom actually made them for us. They're like big crystal structures. Like they're meant to look like big crystals growing into the ground. And so we change the rules on them all the time. Sometimes they're breachable, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're -2 to move through. Sometimes they're obscuring, sometimes they're not. Anyways, in this particular game, for whatever reason, I forget who said it, but they were like, okay, all of these are just going to be the -1 to hit when you're shooting through them in any way. And only this and this are actually line of sight blocking. And these two little things were like little crate mountains. So what that meant, and I even was like, are you sure? And they're like, yep. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to be able to just shoot the whole board turn 1. And they're like, yep, okay. I don't know if they just thought the -1 would be enough. And maybe I should have, I don't know. I thought these orc boys were supposed to be really tough and scary now. But anyways, I'll just kind of really quickly show. He basically had like Gazgul here, and he had his other characters kind of over here. I think one objective was right here, and then he had all of the boys basically hidden over here. I could see like a little bit of them here, different units, whatever. And I think it was 30, 30, 20. Oh, sorry, and we said that these were breachable, so the boys could go through this, but they were mostly hidden. And then he had mech gun, and his bone breaker was here. So my Taunar is down here somewhere, and it's huge, so let's say that's the Taunar. And the 2 broadsides were over here. My commander was here, and I think the commander was there, and then I also had my ethereal there for, and he was giving the reroll 1s to hit and the 6-up feel no pain, all that good stuff. And then the rest doesn't really matter. The point is, so turn 1, Taunar steps out, broadside step out. They're getting reroll 1s, and I can't remember. I might have done at this point. I might have done the Kalyan or Montcal, whichever one it is that lets you act as not moving. So now the broadsides have not moved. I don't even know. I don't remember if that was relevant or not, but I think I might have. The point is that all the guns stepped out, and I could see boys. I could see Ghazghkull. Oh, and he had what's his face? He had the guy on the big the big war boss on bike, and he was just like chilling there, chilling there in the middle. The poor thing. And I literally killed this. I killed all 3 mech guns. I killed the bone breaker, and this is what was heartbreaking. He then rolled 3 ones for the mega knobs in it, so 3 of them died in the explosion. Ghazghkull took his 4 wounds. Like, it was a slaughter. I killed all of his vehicles, basically, everything that was big, and Ghazghkull took his 4 wounds. And so then all he had was this big blob of boys trying to slog all the way down the board, while my Kroot just held the objectives, and they just spread out, and I basically made a wall like this, and the boys all came into it. And boys absolutely outfight Kroot. Any day of the week, any of the Kroot units, they outfight them. Even Narlock Riders, they went up, they plugged a gap right about here, and they charged into boys. I think they killed like 6 of the new boys. Like, it was nothing. The Krootoks, I think they ended up fighting some boys somewhere over here. Or actually, I think they were over here, actually. I think they actually got crumped by Gaz, which was cool. Gaz got to do something. But the point is that, like, between the little Kroot hounds, a unit of Kroot, carnivores, more carnivores, the Narlock Riders, the Great Narlock, whatever, like, I just had enough of a wall that I killed all his fast shit and all his guns, and then all these boys had to run into this wall, and even if they kill it in one go, they're now sitting ducks for all the guns to just blast them. And it was an absolute blowout. It was an absolute slaughter. At the end of the game, I think the Town Arm had maybe lost like 4 or 5 wounds, and I think that was to the shock attack gun. The Great Narlock was still alive. The broadsides were at full health. All my characters were alive. I think both units of Kroot carnivores were alive. I think the Fire Warriors were alive. And I think they died. I think they died fighting boys, and they died to Gaz. I think even those hounds were alive. Like, it was really bad. It was really bad, and it was over in like turn 2 or 3. And basically, like, we had a chat about it after, and we're like, yeah, never again will we just give the Tau basically a free board to shoot. Like, it was very silly, and it honestly wasn't that fun. Like, it's fun to use the all Kroot army. It's not fun to just ruin your friend's new orc army with it. And this is like, I don't know if you guys watch Tabletop Tactics too much. They're one of the biggest channels for battle reports on here, but like, I'm absolutely the Lawrence of our group. I just win a lot, and I seem to have really good luck a lot of time. Like, even just like unnecessarily, like, oh, I have to kill a character and he's got 1 wound left, like, or he's got 3 wounds left and it's a d6 down. Well, of course I'll roll like flat 6, so there's just no chance. Like, and I have a really good group. We always joke about it. Yeah, we always joke about how I'm just like the villain of this group. So, anyways, I will just re-rack here. I didn't really think about it before I erased things. So, game 2 was against my other friends, Ultramarines, and as everybody knows, Ultramarines are a pretty strong army, and certainly against an all Kroot army. Like, it should be no contest. So I don't know if my rolls are just ridiculous or what, but once again, it was a Kroot victory, and I'm just going to go over it really quickly for you guys. So Ultramarines up there again, Kroot down here, and so we learned our lesson from the first game, and we completely changed it. So all of these big crystal terrain things, we changed all of them so that basically they're like ruins, and we counted, they're all quite tall, like, they're all quite big. I'm gonna post some pictures, and I'm gonna maybe, I've never edited videos before, don't know how it's done. I'm gonna try to add those into this video somehow. I took some pictures and you can see them. They're very tall, so we counted all of them as line of sight blocking. So, if I have a model here and he has a model here, unless I'm touching it, he can't see me and I can't see him. If I move up and touch it, then I can see through. and that they were all breachable, so you could walk through them. But none of that just -1 shooting through it. Clearly, that is not enough to hamper the Kroot shooting. So once again, I got first turn, but this time I should talk real quick about what my friend's list was. He was just out for blood to kill the towner. He just wanted this big beautiful head. Big beautiful head. He just wanted to kill it so bad. So he brought 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts. He brought a Captain, Power Fist, and Jump Pack. It was a Chapter Master, Captain Jump Pack with Power Fist and Storm Shield. He brought 6 Plasma Scepters, 6 Eradicators. He brought a bunch of Assault Intercessors, and he brought a Storm Raven gunship. And so I went first, and basically the only thing I could see, because for those that don't know, you can't hide flyers anywhere. Like a flyer couldn't sit behind this because it's flying. It doesn't get the obscuring red. So the flyer was wherever. Say it was like back here somewhere. So because of the change, that little change we did to the terrain, I was unable to just massacre him like I did my friend's orcs. He hit a bunch of stuff back here. I couldn't see it. And then he hit a bunch more stuff back here. I couldn't see it. The only thing I could see was he had, I think there was actually another terrain piece here in the middle. Something like that. And he had a couple intercessors like on the side, and I could obviously see the Storm Raven. So the Towner walked out, deleted this, delete. Gone. And then I think in total I maybe between some little pot shots from the Towner, or I think I even got some little, I think I had the Kroot riders over here, and I think they were able to get some little pot shots kind of like that. And I think I maybe killed 2 or 3 intercessors turn 1. So vastly different, vastly better than what happened to the poor orcs. And that's how it should be. You should have terrain that you should be able to hide 90% of your army turn 1. You shouldn't be getting blasted off the table turn 1. If you are, then you probably don't have a very good setup board like we did, because we're dum-dums turn 1. Game 1. So my turn 1, I just killed a couple things. My secondaries were not very strong that game, or at least I thought, because Kroot don't have their own book, Tau don't have their own book. So I think I took Engage. Kroot are getting Engage, all these fast little units zipping around the board. They're pretty good at grabbing things and getting in all the corners and whatever. That Cold Star Commander can move 40 inches if he has to and zip to the other side of the board. So I took that. I was forced to take Attrition because even though I think I had more models than him, just the way he had them arranged, I think he still had less units than me, but I kind of figured turn 1 he would just kind of kill all my little stuff, and then it would just be like the Towner versus the world. And if it's alive, then it's probably killing things, and if it's killing things, then I'm probably getting attrition points. So I kind of thought I would maybe get that twice in the whole game, later turns, so 3 and 4. And then I took, so what was it? Engage, that, and then I took Raise the Banners. So just these little cheap infantry squads. I actually don't. For taking Raise the Banners, I think I would rather have a few more squads, and maybe, God, it hurts my soul to say it, but God forbid, maybe I would have a couple more these little 5-man Kroot Fire Warrior squads, even though I hate them, just for doing the banners, because it's pretty easy to get, but as Tau and as Kroot, you need to be able to keep people off of it. And that's where it becomes tricky, because we have these little roadblock units, the Krootoks, the Great Narlock Cab, but that's all they are. They're roadblocks. They're not amazing. They're not Terminators with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields that can just weather the whole enemy fire. They're just enough to maybe live, or maybe kill the thing, or maybe hold the point. So the way you want to kind of deploy them is I might mix this up a little bit, but say we had an objective here, and maybe one back here, and then kind of the same over there. Like, if I'm going to go raise this banner, I'm going to put my fire warriors kind of around like that. And then, whether this is breachable or not, I'm going to maybe try to, because I think we might have gave them the keyword, the whatever word it is that makes it so it's like -2 to move through it, or something like that. But regardless, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to make roadblocks to protect those things. Just because, like I said, you just want to hold back the enemy long enough, make them come to you, and then have your guns lined up here to just, okay, here's my thing that's holding the point, that this is what actually matters. Like, it's like you've given them like 3 bad choices. Like, whatever they go for is actually like good for you. If they want to go for your guns, then they're ignoring, this is really stretching it, but they might be ignoring a melee threat that can then come down next turn and get them. This could be my Narlock Riders, Krootoks, whatever. And alternatively, they're now ignoring my thing that's on the point. So it's like whatever they go for, the other things can respond. Like, okay, you want to go run into this and kill it? Good job. Now you're sitting right here, and my guns are just going to wreck you. And I'm still on the point. You want to get some sneaky way to get on the point? Well, then I have something to come down to, and I can still shoot you. It's like, and then when you can do this across your whole board, you've then got, it's like I don't know what the proper word is. It's like you've got layers. The Kroot are actually ogres, guys. They're actually fucking Shrek. You want layers in your defense. You want your guns protected by the infantry that are getting your points, and then you want the infantry protected by the roadblocks. And sometimes roles have to be switched. I believe at one point I even threw my broadsides in front of the frickin' this goober, this guy here, because he was going to get charged by something, and it didn't end up happening anyway, but it looked like he might get charged by something, and I was more willing for them to tank it, and then they overwatch for free with the greater good. They're going to hurt it on the overwatch anyway, and then I don't have to waste a CP paying for him. And then, it's kind of like, so what? You've killed them. He's still there. He's got 1,000,000 guns, and he'll stomp on you. And, it just brightens my soul. It just brightens my heart, lights a fucking firecracker in my butthole to have an actual Kroot unit just kill everything. So back to what happened in the actual game. Turn 1, like I said, I killed the Storm Raven, hurt some intercessors, no big deal. He moved down, just some splash damage here and there, whatever. And what he did was he had both his Redemptors over here, and he used them to shoot at the Krootoks and I think the Narlock Riders. And he killed like 1 or 2 of each, but he didn't wipe any squads because I used that concealment strat for the Kroot where you are -1 to hit. And that ended up saving the Krootoks. I think they lived with like 1.5 alive. And then it was my turn 2, and he had all those Eradicators, 6 Eradicators and 6 Plasma Scepters with the captain, and he had that some stupid ass fucking Space Marine thing that lets you just pick a unit on the enemy team and reroll like all hits and wounds. I forget what it's called, like Oath of something. Seal of Oath, I think that was it. So I'm like, okay, like at this point I didn't, like, they've got 24-inch range on the Meltas, they got 18 on the Plasmas, like, I couldn't physically screen the whole board around the Taunar, which at this point was like about here. I couldn't block everything. They were going to get to come down somewhere and do their thing and do all their shots, and there's no way with just a 5-up invuln T8, even with 30 wounds, the Tau don't have a rotate ion shield strat. They don't have anything like that. Like, he was going to die, and he was going to die badly. He was going to die just sawed off at the ankles by all that plasma melta, and it was going to be bad. So I'm like, okay, it's my turn too. We need to get some freaking money worth out of this guy. We need to make our dollars. How can he do the most damage? Well, he was able to just move far enough that he was able to get this big ass nose, which a real towner would not have, boys and girls. So don't be putting, huge dinosaur noses on your real towner. Unless you're cool, and in that case, do it. But he was able to get his nose around this corner, and when I kept saying that those guns will just kill whatever you want, it was bad. He put the back guns into one dreadnought, he put the arm guns into the other dreadnought, killed 2 Redemptor dreadnoughts. What else can do that? What else in the game just goes, get out of here? 2 Redemptor dreadnoughts gone, and for good measure, there was 2. I believe they were both assault intercessor squads in front of him on a point here, and he like killed one down to 1 guy, and then the other one was on like 2, and he charged both them and stomped on both them, like just killed 2 little squads like that. So that turn I actually got attrition, because I think he only ended up killing a couple things here and there, but he didn't actually kill 1 unit, and he might have killed 1. I think he killed 1 in his turn 1, but then this was my turn 2, and the towner literally killed like 4 units by itself, and I might have even killed he had like Tigurius and another intercessor squad over here, and I think I killed one of them too. Like, it was bad, but I knew I had to do that because he had like 600 700 points of Ultramarines coming down specifically built to kill him. And this is how easy it is to counter this thing, because like there's nothing I could do about it. I don't have enough models to just massively bubble wrap him. I've done that before a little bit in the old days of like the Burnabama and stuff. You use the Kroot. Kroot have a pre-game move, and you can use that to make a pretty big bubble so that he's not getting hit by it used to be, my friend used to do this with some of the buggies for the orcs. They can get like turn 1 charges and stuff, and I would use my whole army basically and just bubble wrap this guy, so that no matter where they came in, they were too far away and could never actually get them. So that's what you gotta do. If this guy's 1,000 points, if he goes down, like it's a funny thing. It's like you want him to do his thing, but if he does his thing, your opponent's probably lost. And if he doesn't do his thing, if he just dies, then you've lost, because that's half your army and probably all your big guns. For me, the only other guns were these guys, and that's just 2 guys, and they can't really move too fast or anything. So anyways, he comes down and reroll all hits, reroll all wounds. He's dead. Done. Get out of here. Gone. Toppled. Just me in a ball crying on the floor because they just murdered my boy. But anyway, so he's dead. But now I think at this point, because the towner, when he charged people, he was kind of up here. I think all his stuff actually came down over here, so they were kind of hidden by this wall and just wrecked him. But that was like his whole army. The Marines are so expensive, and you pay for every little thing. They don't have cheap little garbage throwaway units like these, and like all my troops. So he had taken his whole army to kill my towner, and that was his whole army. His whole army was like 3 little units up here. Meanwhile, I still had broadsides down here. I still had a commander down here. I had some troops down here. I had some stuff over here, some troops over here. I think I had a couple Narloks, 1 or 2 left over here. The Great Narlok ended up coming in deep strike over here. I had it in reserve for whatever reason. Like most of all of my stuff was left. It's all cheap little stuff, but it's just so many little stuff. Like if he has 2 really good units, they're probably only going to kill 2 of my little cheap units, and then I still have like 4 or 5 more. So but what actually ended up happening is this boss here charged into the Inceptors. I think like 2 of them killed themselves firing at this guy. Like he rolled like double 1s with rerolls. Like it was just sad. And this guy ended up charging them. He killed like 2 or 3 of them. The missile broadsides, because the eradicators were forced to come through the wall to hold a point, they were able to kill a couple of them. And like I said, I think the game actually ended. I think we actually played it. We played out my turn 5. And he was like 100% tabled, but like the points were just so far away at that point, because this whole time I just held the whole board. I kept him up here, his little things were up here, and he had to deep strike in all his stuff in one spot to kill the towner, and then I'm still just on all the points, and then he has to come out to me, and his guns are only really good at killing big things, and I don't really have any big things. And the stuff that is big, like what you say, he's going to shoot at the Great Narlock. Well, he's 65 points. Like, I don't really care if you take a 300-point unit and kill my Great Narlock. It's not a big deal. So yeah, so that's how game 2 went against like a pretty mean Ultramarines army. I mean, 2 Redemptors, Eradicators, and Scepters, and yeah, tabled, like 100% tabled, and I still had most of the army left in terms of actual models. The big guy did finally go down in the end, but that was through like very dedicated effort. So yeah, this is just the first of my, I'm gonna try and do these now, little summary reports, and maybe I will try and do some filming during the actual games. Like I said today, that Orc game was just so bad, and my friend was actually getting a little bit frustrated, and that's totally understandable because it was silly. We should have not let the terrain be like that. It wasn't worth filming. It's not worth filming to just watch an Orc player's spirit be destroyed by the Kroot. Or maybe it is. Maybe you would have. Maybe y'all would have liked that. All, whatever, 50 of you. I think I actually got a bunch more subscribers today. That friggin' post on Instagram just went crazy. Thank you to anybody, by the way, that might have liked that or commented it. It's really encouraging hearing what people say. And that's the last genuinely nice thing you'll hear from me. So yeah, look forward to some different videos in the meantime. I'll do some more in-depth looks at how some of these kit bash models were made. At some point I will do a big one on the Towner. Believe it or not, he's actually not 100% done. There's going to be some more gubbins and interesting little things I'm going to add to him, as well as a crew. He currently only has 1 crew member sitting up there at a little control console, but there's going to in total be 4 or 5 crew. So like I said, so look forward to lots more kit bashing videos, lots more model showcase videos, and then I'm gonna do some more like tips and tricks, and maybe even some like little tactics. I kind of talked about some of that today, I guess, but things to, you know, get the most out of these little green guys, because they actually can do okay if you sort of play smart, I guess, and I use that very loosely because it's me. Anyways, bye for now. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this at all. Highly doubt anybody's watched all 1 hour or whatever this is going to be, but yeah, feel free to subscribe, like, whatever. Someday when I'm a big old famous YouTuber, you know, maybe I'll do some sort of a Kroot related giveaway. Maybe I'll offer to paint something for someone or something. But all right, thanks for watching. Bye now.